but I'm going to go ahead and start giving an overview of what we do. So, got kinship plots. So, welcome all. I know we have a few new people today. Thank you for joining us. So, we are Charlotte East, otherwise known as the Eastland Area Strategies Team. We are a community organization, community nonprofit dedicated to uplifting social economic capital in the east side, specifically the area directly built and related to the Eastland Mall, former Eastland Mall site and the Eastland redevelopment. Um, we do these meetings once a month on the second Wednesday of each month, open source community agenda items, just about whatever topics are of general interest to people. We try to present information and share information about what's happening, what's going on, and try to make this a space where people can connect, people can learn more about both civic initiatives and just other nonprofits that are operating in the space, right? So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, today we have a small agenda, so we should get out of here a little bit earlier than I anticipate, but four things, and we're going to start with the data center conversation because we brought it up at length in our last meeting and wanted to give some updates. So, two things that I wanted to share. So, 2 weeks ago, a lot has happened. 3 weeks ago, excuse me, 3 weeks ago, City Council voted in on the topic of holding a public hearing to put a pause on data centers, right? There is a rezoning for a 40,000 square foot data center in East Charlotte off of Hood Road that kind of started kicking up a lot of action and traction around data centers, even though we've had a number of data centers in our community for some time. A vote was taken on whether or not to hold a public hearing. Now, the importance of the public hearing was in order for the city of Charlotte to legally put a pause on data center construction to get better safeguards and regulations in place because the planning department does not really have strong definitions for what is a data center at this point. A public hearing was necessary. So at that meeting, you can see there was yes votes and there were no votes. And it was a tie, and that tie was split by, thank you, Venitra. That tie was split by the mayor, who voted against holding a public hearing. The subsequent week, the mayor announced her resignation, which was last week. And then this week, city council voted again on Monday, unanimously to hold a public hearing, right? So you can see this is the split screen on the right. Charlotte has not voted on a pause, but what is the next step in this process is on May 26th, the city is holding this public hearing for anyone who is interested in coming to speak about data centers, right? Opposition in favor of data centers or against data centers. So that is currently where we're at with the process. There was the specific rezoning request. Sorry, Venitra, I'm trying to make this bigger while also still being able to, or we'll slide it over here for y'all. That might help a little bit. See exactly what is happening. So what I anticipate happening, and this was staff's recommendation as well, is that after that public hearing on May 26th, council will vote. Likely at this point, I would imagine that it's likely because staff is recommending it for a 150-day pause. Now, with that said, the rezoning application still exists for the expansion of a telecommunications center in East Charlotte on Hood Road to allow it to expand to a 40,000 square foot facility. That rezoning public hearing has been pushed back to June. It was originally supposed to be, I think it's been already postponed twice. Now that public hearing has been pushed back to June. So it's kind of a convoluted, complicated issue, but right now there will be a public hearing on the calendar May 26th for anyone to voice their opinions about data centers. Any questions or comments that I can try to help answer on that? I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at my.
Do you know when that hearing would be? What time?
I mean, it's likely 5 o'clock. Yeah, so
Okay,
when the official agenda, when the agenda comes out, it's
okay.
the Thursday night before that meeting. So whatever date that would be. Actually, 26, that should be late. That should be Memorial Day weekend. So let me look.
They're having it on that Tuesday.
It is that Tuesday. Okay, so that agenda should come out Thursday, May 21st, the evening, and I'll be sure to circulate that, Beth, when it comes out. But I
Okay.
would just, if you're interested in speaking, would
Yes.
recommend
Yeah.
5 o'clock at the Government Center on the 26th.
Oh, I don't remember.
5 o'clock on the 26th. All right. We are going to go ahead and move to the next topic if there are no outstanding questions on this one. This is very exciting, and this is not necessarily new. But an hour ago, I just got out of the meeting with the somebody that represents the library and talking about what this process is going to look like. So last year in the CIP for I think it was for the county, it was announced in the budget that there was going to be forthcoming funds for an east side library, a new library for the east side, right? We have been working with Mr. Dillard from the county to talk about potential parcels that might make sense, to talk about, what that process of property acquisition looks like. And we have been pointing him in the county in a few different directions. Very excited about this. So they currently have funding that will open up in July for property acquisition. And it's enough for essentially what they're trying to do with the design for a 20,000 square foot library. They would like to have some additional acreage to potentially expand it in the future. This is just a photo of the new University City Library that opened up, because there are no renderings, there's no site plans or anything like that. But I wanted to put this on the community's kind of radar. This is very exciting. I think, there are a couple opportunities along Albemarle Road that would make sense, particularly with some vacant existing commercial spaces with larger parcels that could spur redevelopment in the adjacent kind of derelict properties as well. We had a few conversations about how would this make sense on close to the intersection of W.T. Harris and Albemarle. But these are all, again, very preliminary conversations. But I wanted to ensure this was on folks' radar, that this is in the works. And if you have or are interested in, a specific 3 to 4 acre parcel that you would love to see be used for a library, please let me know. I'll be happy to pass along those recommendations. Any library comments or questions? Okay. All right. This is going to be a very quick meeting then today, y'all. No, it's not. I forgot to put this on the agenda. Well, it kind of is still going to be quick. What I would like to do briefly is just kind of show a visual representation of some of the new businesses that we have coming on board and some of the new developments that are in the pipeline. Very exciting thing. So each one of these little building houses represents a new business that is independently owned, that has either been announced or already opened this year in the greater Eastland area footprint. We have some extremely exciting ones coming along the way. And we have only lost this year one independently owned business, and they had 2 locations, and they decided to just focus on the one in Mount Holly, which is, understandable based off of their specific business type. Makes sense. And Larry, no, I'm sorry, I just saw your question. The library could not be located on that parcel. That parcel is full. All 80 acres are accounted for that land. But it could go across the street at Redmond. That could make sense. So you can see a few that were announced like in this past week that kind of made some news that I wanted to kind of point out. This is very exciting. At Eastway Crossing, there's a new business called Play Nation that they'll probably open quarter 4, maybe the beginning of 2017. But it's a 10,000 square foot play space for screenless for kids up to the age of I think it's up to the age of 13, and there are individual areas for like different age bands. But I think this is a type of amenity for youth and families that we've outside of our green spaces been lacking a little bit in East Charlotte, and I'm very excited to see this come to come to our community. We also have adjacent to it, I'm going to try to zoom in. If you guys are familiar with where the old Atlantic Farmers Market was, the reason that they left was because Collet, the property management company, was recruiting Talpa Supermercados, who's going to be investing a couple $1 million in the interior. They are based out more so outside of Georgia, but on the interior, it's a very unique concept. All of their locations have what look like independent businesses, but they're all operated by Talpa. So think tamale vendor, you'll have a coffee shop within, an ice cream shop, and it's going slow, but it should be open. Last time I spoke with the broker, it should be open by quarter 4 as well. So super exciting. I think it'll offer a really diverse array of amenities, and it's something very different for a grocer. It's going to definitely compete with Compare Foods, which I think in this situation, I think is going to be some very healthy competition. I'm so excited to see that come into fruition. And I'm sorry, y'all, I lost my bar for seeing the participants. Okay, here it is. Few other things, if y'all have not been yet, a new Oaxacan restaurant opened on Friday. Very excited. We're doing an private event over there next week called Sabores de Oaxaca, from the family of Tacos El Novato. The niece Litzy is running point over there right now, but it's very specific niche to the state of Oaxaca. So they have some interesting concepts and interesting plates that are not offered in Charlotte right now. So go check them out. It's the old Waffle House building. It's now painted yellow. So super excited. We do have another coffee shop. I know this is one thing that people always consistently talk about. We don't have enough third spaces. Now, this physical space is not going to be huge, but we will have another coffee shop in Easttown Market right next to Legends Ice Cream, if you're familiar with where that is. So on the wing next to where Ty's Wings and Tings was, where Sabor Catracho is currently. Lena's is on the corner, and she should be opening within 2 months. Very excited about that. Two other ones that I wanted to point out collectively to the community. We had previously discussed as part of this group a housing trust fund application and a rezoning for Calvary Church of the Nazarene in Wallora Lake. Well, that rezoning was approved, and the housing trust fund dollars were also approved. So that will be, Carolyn, you correct me if I'm wrong, is that 120 senior units?
I believe that's about right. Yeah.
120, and then are there 10 townhomes or there 5? How many are there?
There's
For
11
sale.
townhomes that are market rate, but there's no deed restrictions put on them for the amount of rentals except for the very first year. And one owner can only own 2, which means, it could turn into all rentals instead of market rate homes. So
Okay. Okay. Cool. So that is happening. I don't even know if this one's out of the bag yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and add, like, there's another pending NOAA acquisition over by Easttown Market. Actually excited about the investments in NOAA's, which, if you're not familiar, NOAA's naturally occurring affordable housing, meaning that while public subsidies will come to these units, these are not new apartments. These are existing apartments that subsidies allow individuals to stay in place. So, especially we're looking at with the amount of dollars that are going to be flowing in as part of the Eastland redevelopment in the next little bit. Investing in NOAA, I think, especially with trusted NOAA partners who have been doing this and own other spaces and that have on-site community health workers, is best bang for our buck over here. And I did want to kind of show a tool to folks today, because we did have a little bit of extra time. But before I do that, does anybody have any questions about any of these projects or developments that I might be able to answer?
I have an announcement to make. And
We're not pressing. Can you save that till the end? We're gonna wait. If just on this
Sure,
topic. Thank you.
sure.
All right. Any questions about any of these projects? Cool. So what I'm going to do, and for some of you are familiar with this, but there is a tool. If you do not know, you see something that's happening in your community and you want to know what it is. You want to know, has permit been filed? What type of development? If you Google development near me, this is through the city of Charlotte. Ms. Duncan, yeah, if you would like to jump in, please do.
I just wanted to share that you had a couple questions in the chat. I wasn't sure if you can see those or not.
No, I can't. Thank you. And
Okay.
that's why I
Okay.
don't know my Zoom. Thank you. I appreciate you looking out. Let me try to.
Let me see if I can read. Let me see if they went
I
up.
don't know what. Yeah, I'm not ignoring y'all. I promise. Give me 1 second. Now I can see. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Now I can see. Thank you. Thank you. So I think Larry, I answered that question about Eastland Yards. There's a potential, you know, across the street at Redmond. And Jillian, Talpa is supposed to be opening. Don't have a definitive date because they're doing a lot of interior work, but I would imagine by Q4 they'll be ready to go. They'll be ready to go. Thank you, because I had totally lost my app. So thank you. All right, let me go back and share. And I will say, when we talk about, I'm super proud of the work our business community and our small business community in Charlotte East as a partners. We've been able to help out that community. In the wake of what we saw with Border Patrol, the fact that we did not lose any businesses from that impact, and we've actually seen such significant growth. There's no place that I would rather be than the east side for small business supports and development. So very excited to see what else is on the radar. So the development near me tool, again, you can just Google development near me Charlotte and this will pop up. And some of you, I'm sure, are much more well versed with how to utilize this tool than I am. But essentially it shows all of the current permits, all of the current projects, recently completed developments, infrastructure projects that are in the pipeline. Even to the point where if there's something that's required, like on an individual home, you can see the permits that were filed. You can see timelines, you can see other details. I know I was talking with somebody on this call a couple weeks ago about some of the development projects that are happening along Independence that don't seem to have their proper permits filed. Sometimes we go to this to figure out, okay, what exactly is going on with this parcel? Like what are their plans? What is happening? So if you all are interested in understanding and knowing at any point, like, hey, what might be happening here? This is the tool to do it. And I'll give you another example, right? Like we saw, I think this should be the Burger King. Like this is how we knew the Burger King was getting run out, because we saw this up here that was filed a year ago, the one next Albemarle Road. We thought it was going to be a new fast food restaurant, and we realized, oh, Burger King is totally rebranding all across the board. I'm going to drop this tool in the chat because this is something that you all can play with, particularly if you see construction and don't know what's going on. This will be able to answer it for you. Shout out to the city of Charlotte for a phenomenal tool. Alrighty, with that said, I believe we are opening it up to a couple of our community partners for agency updates. So I will go ahead, Emily, and start with you.
Great. Thank you, Greg. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Emily Parker, the director over at the Galilee Center. Um, just to think four things. I've made a list of four things to tell you about, which I will put in the chat as well and send to Greg for the notes. One, coming up next week on the Tuesday, May 19th, is our monthly Food is Love community lunch. Please come by. 11:30 to 1 in the Flag Hall, which is the big gathering space in our back building. I believe lasagna is on the menu. But do come, bring a friend. It's free. We love donations, but not expected. So that is Tuesday, May 19th at 11:30 or sometime between 11:30 and 1. We are putting on a Galilee listening session next week on Thursday, May 21st on Zoom only at noon for about 45 minutes. And really, we're just wanting to check in with our folks in the community to see how Galilee can kind of best serve our community. So there's a registration link for it. I will put that in the chat and send to Greg. So that's a listening session. We are hosting something called the Really, Really Free Market on Saturday, May 23rd, also in the Flag Hall from 1 to 4. If you want to come, everything's free. So anything that people kind of come and set up, there's books and toys and clothes and all the things. If you have gently used items that you would like to donate, or if you want to come and shop, like please come on. We've done that once before here, and it's a great success. In the same kind of vein, we are having a spring and summer clothing giveaway between May 26th and May 28th. So if you have any men, women, children's warm weather clothing items to donate that are either new or very gently used, please bring them on by. We'll get clothing racks from the tool bank and folks can just come in and shop. So Joanne, I think you're on. Do you have anything else to add? I'm not sure if Betty's on either.
I am on kind of driving, but I just wanted to say we take shoes and socks as well, men, women, children, and babies.
Right, right. Thank you, Betty. Also, if you have some time to volunteer, we have a lot of clothes donated and we need to get them sorted and organized and put on hangers and hung up. So if you're interested in that, I'll put my email in the chat and we can get you connected. So that's it. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you drop Galilee's address in the chat?
I will.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Venitra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Venitra. I am the founder and executive director for the Frankie May Foundation. And once a month, we do our monthly meetup to serve family caregivers. So if you're a family caregiver, you know a family caregiver, we meet at Weeping Willow AME Zion Church on Milton Road. And we provide a catered lunch. We do a fun activity. And if the caregiver needs supplies from incontinence supplies, durable medical equipment, gloves, body wash, all of our resources are free. We just ask the caregiver to sign up so that we can plan for lunch and any other supplies. And also, if the caregiver needs someone to sit with their loved one, we pay for a home care agency to come to the house to relieve the caregiver so that they can come to the meetup. But Greg has the flyer, and we'll send out tomorrow with the recap of today's meeting. And also, we ask that the caregivers bring non-perishable food items. We donate to Amity Medical Food Pantry. So that's the only thing we ask, if the caregiver can bring something, and then Amity Medical picks up all the items for their food pantry the following week. So Greg will have the flyer, and the link to register will be on the flyer. So that's all we have for May.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I believe we have Michelle. Are you on with us?
I am, yes. Hello. Um, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, yes, thank you so much to the Frankie May Foundation. We are so incredibly grateful for our food donations. It is such a major need for our patients. And we have a very small budget designated for it. So it's been incredibly helpful to have their help. But just two quick things. We do have our vendor registration open for our back to school event. If anybody is interested in being a vendor, it is on August 22nd. And then Greg, I did send you the flyer. It's a completely free event, free sports physicals, free vaccinations, free health screenings, free dental screenings, and we're actually gonna have free food given out this year to people. So and also a bouncy house. So it's very fun for children, besides the part where they get a vaccine. But we are going to have a lot of fun, free resources, and we try to encourage as many community partners as possible to come out and hand out resources. And then also, I think the only other thing I wanted to ask for was if anybody wanted to help out the Frankie May Foundation in the food pantry donations, we will gladly take them. Like I said, it is such a major need. Now, it's not our main thing that we do, of course. We refer all of our patients to Nourish Up, but our pantry acts more as an emergency assistance for patients that are visiting for their appointments. But if anybody has any non-perishables, sitting around their pantry, we'll happily take them. And that's, I think, about it for us.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What is the date, Michelle, again? I'm sorry.
August 22nd, and I'll send you the flyer for that. We kind of haven't put it out yet as we've been
Okay.
trying to confirm with some vendors.
God, that's coming up soon, right? August is only like 3 months away. Okay. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Thank you. Thank you. I do have, this is not directly East Side related, but I think it is an issue of public interest. There have been some significant credible reports and credible rumors that council members or a certain council member who voted for rescinding um, the I-77 P3, that they're tomorrow at 1 p.m. in room 267, a meeting is going to be held at the city of Charlotte. And in that meeting, it is possible that a motion will be introduced to go back on that rescission, if that's even the word. So if you are interested in the I-77 project, and that is something that is near and dear to you, which, as I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with the Independence widening that's happening, which is another key project that's affecting our community, even though we don't live on the west side and really focus on west side interests. I think that is going to be an issue folks should be tuning into. So if you feel obliged to head to the government center tomorrow, 1 p.m. in room 267, to ensure that, if you were happy with that outcome with the I-77 situation, that it continues to stay in that direction, or just check it out on YouTube. That's not a ton of detail, but I do have, it on a pretty definitive source that this might not be the end of the saga this week.
What time again? I'm sorry, Greg. What time again did you say?
1 p.m. room 267 tomorrow.
Thanks.
Yeah, Tony, I didn't realize we've got a panel tomorrow morning too.
We do
So
have a
I'm
panel
looking
tomorrow
forward if
morning.
y'all wanna come by Foundation for the Carolinas in the morning at 9 o'clock. It's gonna be a great panel.
Greg's gonna be holding it down.
Tanya Manolo, and Ann Gonzalez from the chamber, and myself. So is that, because I just got the registration link for the speaker, is that going to be open to the general public, or is that tapped out right now?
I don't know if it's tapped out, but you just have to register online. I mean, it's in the Carolina Theater, so
Okay.
you know
Okay.
it can hold plenty of people who can take off 4 hours from work. So
Yeah, right. Right. So yeah, the 1 p.m. room 267 tomorrow, Government Center. And I would recommend presence, probably in person, for those who, like you said, can take off work, Donnie, to go to something like that. And this is just a general note to people about community organizing. Typically, in general, emails and calls are okay, but like there's nothing that beats physical presence for any issue, not just 77 or data centers. So,
Greg, Julian wants to know what is the panel about?
community and collaboration, and just talking about civic. I mean, it's through the Robinson Center as well. And Tanya, maybe you can speak a little bit more to that panel because it's in the context of a greater initiative that I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah. So,
Sorry to put you on the spot.
the foundation is launching, uh, continue to do this work around uh, resiliency in our nonprofit space. And so they're really trying to push for, more collaboration and cooperation between the various nonprofits. So we have the kickoff panel tomorrow morning. And so our focus will be on, how has collaboration worked with our different organizations, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what are the lessons learned. So like Greg, for example, one of my top off question for you would be the way that the Charlotte East rallied around ICE and how all of the different nonprofits that serve communities here really came together and really fought back and supported families and made their presence felt, and how you all leaned in together and made sure there wasn't necessarily duplication of services, and it wasn't about who gets credit. It was just about doing the work. So that'll be like one of my first questions to Greg, to kind of really kick off as an example of what collaboration could look like. So
Thanks for the heads up on the first question.
haha.
I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I did just put the link in the chat. I think it'll be a great opportunity to speak. So excited for that, if y'all can make it. So we have about 12 minutes. This was a very quick agenda today. I'm going to open it up if anybody has any items that they would like to share, either from a neighborhood lens, a request for supports or services, or just general Eastside news and information.
I'm still trying to understand this city council meeting that you're saying is going to happen tomorrow. So is it potentially vote to rescind the rescission vote that they just took?
I'm gonna pass it over to. I'm gonna just flip the. I'm gonna pass it over. I'm gonna flip it over to our council member.
Okay.
Hello, friends.
Yeah, what's up, JD?
Sorry, I am without a car, so I'm relying on my friends on the east side to give me ride to places after my car
You have
accident.
micro transit, man.
Well, let me explain to you what's happening. So last Monday, which was the first Monday of the month where we have our committee meetings, during the transportation committee meeting, Councilmember Johnson made a motion to have a special meeting on I-77 for a more robust conversation on that, right? That motion went through and it passed, hence why there is a special meeting called by the mayor tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Government Center in room 267. That was already planned, not the date and time, but that a special meeting would to be had prior to the vote that was taken this past Monday night, which was to rescind the City of Charlotte's support for the I-77 South Toll Lanes project. Now, what is being rumored around, and I'm all for transparency, and for me, my sources come from Channel 9 and from other sources, but primarily Channel 9 was broke the news, is that the CRBA, the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, is lobbying for City Council to backpedal on that vote ahead of tomorrow's meeting. And so that is currently the context, the state of the play right now when it comes to I-77.
There is a possibility that a motion, and there is a possibility a motion could be introduced to backpedal.
Yep, there is a possibility a motion will be presented to backpedal. If the CRBA is successful in lobbying and lobbying for their efforts. So.
Are there any questions?
Let's see, there are comments. Any questions, comments, concerns? Oh, thank you for the car share at Pepper Tree. I appreciate that. Nope.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah, sure thing. All right.
Thank you, Concejal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So now we have about 9 minutes to open it up, and I will do so. If anybody wants to share about initiatives that they have going on.
I have one.
Yes, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Gibbs. Yeah, Mr. Gibson. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. There is on May 21st an Affordable Housing Summit by Chris Rudisil of the Charles Urban. It will entail all aspects of affordable housing. And it's put together by Chris Rudisil, who writes for the Charles Urban, May 21st.
Mr. Gibson, is that that's the Housing Innovation Summit? Yeah, that's it, right? Okay.
Yeah, by
Okay.
Chris Rudisil.
Thank
Yeah,
you, because I didn't
yes,
even have this on my radar. Okay.
yeah, and all a coalition of groups of media that discuss the issue of affordable housing. WFAE will also cover the meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you. The website isn't cooperating right
Uh,
now. My internet's a little bit slow, but I will make sure that I send that out in the minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Crystal, I'll send that out. I'll send it out, Crystal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, all right. Yes, Miss Millen.
Hey, in general, I want to put out that everybody really needs to check out the City of Charlotte budget that has been put out. And specifically after watching Monday night's meeting, the Umbrella Center, which is coming to East Charlotte, which is going to be a one of its kind in the country like it, there is no money for the first time in 2 years. The city is not providing any money to Safe Alliance. And to me, it kind of breaks my heart because there's a direct correlation between children and families that grow up in domestic violence situations to continuing the pattern and some serious crimes that can happen, violent crimes that can happen on the street because young people don't get counseling, etc. So I believe in the past 2 years, there was $400,000 allowed in the city budget for Safe Alliance. Safe Alliance is going to be part of the Umbrella Center. And this is just a vital, vital need in the city of Charlotte. So I'm just putting that out to everybody to please pay attention to this city budget. Me personally, there's some pork in the city budget, but that's government for you. And I think there's some things that could actually be removed from the city budget that would allow for at least the continuation of $400,000 for Safe Alliance, because that is going to pay benefits beyond anything that we normally would see, but it will pay benefits. So I just wanted to put that out to everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. And I just saw a different question. I mean, I don't know if that it doesn't JC exactly work that way, where you can see like where it was pulled from. So like for example, CMS did a bang up job last night of being very explicit with saying, hey, we're reallocating 2 point whatever million was for mental health and splitting it up from one organization to multiple. I'm not sure how the financial partners process really worked this year because I know there were a number of agencies that had also received funding in the past that were not receiving funding this year. But what I will do right now, I will pull up the city budget and put it in the chat because the public hearing was held on the city budget. What is today? The city budget was held on Monday. I thought today was Tuesday. But you still have your opportunity to give input to your council representatives. When are your straw votes? When are you holding straw votes? The first week of June, I think, right? I think it's the first week of June. But I will be happy to put that in. And I think it's just, it's huge. It's a big budget, but I think it is also really good practice for community to like, just, taking a little bit of time to scroll through these things on the city budget, CMS budget, county budget. So I'm putting it into the chat. This is a 529-page document, but it is it's all in there. So thank you, Carolyn, for lifting that up. Yes, Mr. Gibson.
I'd like to make everyone aware that Friendship Missionary Baptist Church is having a mental health fair the 16th, which is Saturday. It's an all-day event. At the very beginning, there's a men's mental health awareness group I'm part of, and two partners of my friendship that put together a forum on mental health. Then after that, there's a mental health fair put together by Shonda from Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. It's this Saturday, 16th, starting at 9 and goes until I think at least 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You know.
And Greg, Christine has her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. Okay.
Yeah, June 1st.
Go ahead, Christine.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Craig. Thank you all for hosting this. I just have a quick sort of announcement that I wanted to share. So I'm coming up on a year as an East Charlotte resident, and I'm super excited about that. So I live in the Shamrock Hills neighborhood, and I'm attending this meeting today as a resident, which is very cool. And I wanted to just share a little bit about, I have a cohort coming up, and I would love to get some East Charlotte representation. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. I'm a local consultant here in the area and community organizer, and I run a program called the Civic Impact Academy. We are actually on cohort 3. And so this organization actually is the only program in Charlotte that combines local government and community leaders in the same cohort to learn from one another and to build their civic engagement capacity. In the past couple of years, we launched in 2024. We've had some folks from East Charlotte. I think we had one person from Arbridge, but please just take a look at the link here, meet some of our cohort members. Our applications launch on July 1st, and we have a few info sessions coming up this spring. So yeah, check it out. And I'm always available if y'all have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty. Alrighty, y'all. Well, and JC, if you want to follow up offline, I'm sure you can reach out to council directly. We have I know this is your first meeting. We have a hard stop at 3:45. So appreciate y'all coming. This meeting will be recorded, and it is being recorded, and it'll be sent out with the minutes in the next few days. So thank y'all so much for your time. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye, y'all.
Thanks,
afternoon,
Tanya.
everyone.
Thank
Take care.
you.